DoorDash seems to be testing something new, driver tiers. We're going to talk about what that means for you and who it's going to screw over. All right, guys, I'm sick, so bear in there with me, but we need to talk about this because there's already bad information flooding YouTube about the subject. I want you to pause the video and tell me in the comments section what your acceptance rate is. Before we get into the driver tiers, I need to give you a disclaimer first. I haven't been able to verify a single market that this is in. So, with that said, I'm not sure if this is part of their test program or if this is only in 1 or 2 markets currently. With that said, I am satisfied that this is a real thing because I've seen multiple screenshots from multiple different devices. I had several of you hitting me up asking me about this, but I want to give a shout out and a thank you to Kevin Mangold. He was the first one to put me onto it. So, what's changing? Well, it appears that DoorDash is now assigning program levels to drivers similar to Uber Eats or Grubhub. These program levels are silver, gold, and platinum. So, what does that mean for you? Well, not much. Usually when DoorDash pulls something new, I'm the guy to get on YouTube and point out every little flaw in the program that could potentially screw drivers. But this time, not much is really changing. I want to make it clear. I'm approaching this based on my own understanding with the tiny bit of information that's currently out there. Let's take a look at some screenshots and discuss these tiers a little bit. Let's start with silver. To be a silver driver, you need an acceptance rate of at least 50%, a completion rate of at least 90%, and a customer rating of at least 4.5. This is going to get you access to high-paying orders as well as early scheduling. This is the freaking diamond program with one small caveat. You now need a 50% acceptance rate for early scheduling. Quick funny story about the early scheduling part. Over this last summer, I caught wind of DoorDash testing an acceptance rate requirement for early scheduling in select markets, and I did a video about it. Another content creator did a video based on my video and essentially called me fake news, but was it fake news or was I just ahead of the curve? Anyway, moving on to gold tier. This requires you to have an acceptance rate of at least 70%, a completion rate of at least 90%, and a customer rating of at least 4.5. This is Top Dasher. You get the same garbage you get in the silver tier, but now you get access to VIP Dasher support. I'd like to point out, anything past green on Uber Eats and they'll pay freaking 100% of your college tuition. And DoorDash, meanwhile, is offering you VIP access, not that that's even the claim, to a group of people who don't comprehend what you're saying the first time you say it. But hey, if you're a fan of copy and paste responses, then this might be a perk for you. I want to pause here for a moment. If you're talking to support so often that you feel like this is actually a perk, then you need to reevaluate what you're doing as a driver. I talk to support maybe once every 2 to 3 months, and when I do, it's either because it directly affects my money or I'm covering my own ass. Let's move on to the big leagues. Platinum. To achieve the distinguished role of a platinum driver, you'll need at least a 70% acceptance rate, a 95% completion rate, a customer rating of at least 4.7, and at least 100 deliveries in the last month. This is Top Dasher, but this is also where a majority of the changes are. Being a platinum driver will give you the ability to dash now whenever you want, as well as access to the large order program. I want to be clear. As it stands now, being a Top Dasher does not give you access to better orders in the vast majority of markets, nor does it guarantee you a spot in the large order program. These changes are only true if DoorDash rolls this out to your market specifically. And remember, at the time of filming this video, I couldn't find a single driver that has this in their market yet. So don't assume that your high acceptance rate is all of a sudden going to start generating huge orders for you. Currently, you need an invite for the large order program, and this has largely stopped the program from becoming oversaturated. But from the looks of it, that's about to change. In my opinion, the only drivers that are actually going to get shafted by this change are those who are already in the large order program. You're potentially about to see a bunch of new drivers right there with you, which means that your priority to higher paying orders will mean jack shit. And for those of you in medium to smaller markets, do not assume that your high acceptance rate is going to start generating you these huge orders from the large order program. The orders have to exist in the first place for you to get them. The large order program is for catering orders, and that can play out very well for drivers in the program in big markets. Think cities that have a lot of companies that are ordering for a ton of employees, or a city where there's a lot of events held. But don't think that your market of 10,000 people or less is all of a sudden going to start making you 5 times more. It just isn't realistic. This is especially true if you need to be a Top Dasher to get any hours in your market. Every other driver in your market is probably right there with you, and again, your priority will mean jack shit. I want to take a moment to discuss who this change won't affect. Cherry pickers and multi-appers. This change is mainly a fancy user interface update with a few small changes thrown in there to help DoorDash get bad orders delivered. The only drivers that this is really going to affect are those who are already in the large order program, and my heart goes out to you and your actual priority to higher paying orders. That soon will be a thing of the past. So who does this actually benefit? At the end of the day, only DoorDash. Again, they're getting more orders delivered without having to compensate us reasonably for them. If I were you, I would not change a thing about how you approach DoorDash. If you cherry pick, keep cherry picking. If you need to be a top dasher to get any hours in your market, I get that too. DoorDash tries to trick and manipulate drivers through status symbols, badges, and fancy programs rather than adequately compensating us for the work we're doing. Don't fall for it. It's all smoke and mirrors. I am dying to hear your thoughts. Please do leave them in the comment section. As time goes on and I learn more about these driver tiers, I'll probably make another video, and this is especially true if I got any of my information wrong. If you haven't done so yet, it would make my day if you press that like button and subscribe to my channel. My name is Zach. Take care.